What did you just call me?
I thought that was your name.
That is our word. You've got no right using it.
Hey, I'm cool. No problem. Could you pass me the oar?
DEI.
Jim?
Thank you.
DEI didn't earn it, indeed. Much like Yang Ye didn't earn Kiryu. Much like Alyssa Mercante didn't earn the position to be a lead writer at Kotaku. Well, I mean, she may have earned it, but not in the traditional way. You know, the symptoms of not earning something can range from lower sales to lower reviews to downright abysmal failures on everything. And yet somehow it's seen as the most noble thing in the workforce and must be advocated for, must be reinforced by money from juice. Look, it's no secret that mega billion-dollar corporations are reinforcing DEI. It's a subject that makes a lot of people uncomfortable because nobody really likes to be confronted with the fringest side of their own political beliefs. It's an ugly reality they'd rather not face. Everything that you think is righteous and noble, possibly having detrimental effects and not being good when it's pushed to its most extreme, is a subject people like to avoid. You know, they want their jobs, they want their ad revenue. You know how it is. So if they can avoid talking about the most obvious drama surrounding certain products or companies, they will. But you can't ignore it forever, because at some point, it's gonna reach you, and you're going to have to speak out. I know the most staunch supporters of DEI now have a completely different attitude towards it. Not as in they stop believing DEI is good, but they no longer view it as inherently good, which is the big difference maker. Your entire perspective just shatters. For some anyway. Others are already born that way. So to already be that based is kind of insane to think about. But now that they're witnessing the adverse effects of this, it's become a problem for the powers that be, because who do we have so far that has come out to speak against Gamergate, well, quote unquote Gamergate 2.0? The Department of National Security, well, you know who these guys are. Not gonna say their name.
Hey!
And now you have Congressman of Florida trying to speak out against even mentioning the term DEI. And his reasoning will just blow you away.
I think it's important that we have a government that looks like the people. And so that means in terms of race, but it also means in terms of age, you know? Millennials, Gen Z make up a third of the country, but we make up nowhere near a third of the country's government. And so that's part of the reason I decided to run. We need that representation in Congress, so that way we have a government that looks like the country and knows what the country's going through. Well, you know, there's a reason why a lot of government officials are wealthy. It's because to run for office, you can't work another job. And a lot of these people already have money in the bank, whether it's inherited wealth or maybe they were rich or anything like that. I didn't have that, right? I ran out of money 3 months into my campaign, had to Uber to pay my bills. I don't say that for people to pity me. I say that because I just want people to understand how inaccessible it is to run for office in this country.
Maxwell Alejandro Frost. DEI hire equals disgusting racial slur.
Then why did you ask for it?
Fritz, stop pulling one on me. Stop it. I'm not pulling one on you. This is for real. This is an actual congressman. The gray check mark is the official verification, by the way. And you can go to their Twitter page and you can see for yourself. This is for real. It's the male version of Ocasio-Cortez. Too young and stupid for a position. And yes, before you ask, pronouns in the bio. So yes, before you even get a chance to ask me, every thought you have of this person is true. And only what, 25 years old? Oh my God. He's a baby. Yes, as you can imagine, he attends every single LGBT-related thing you can think of. Quote tweets Trans Day of Pride on Easter Day, and is delusional enough to think that Florida is not a red state.
Florida, Texas, we're not red states, we're under-organized states.
And what we're doing now is working to get organized.
That's right, people voted for this Uber driver. As many people have pointed out, his credit was so bad, he couldn't approve for an apartment in DC. And people were expecting him to properly manage their tax dollars. Regardless of that, not gonna get too political with you. Just understand that this goof right here is a congressman, and he's out to try and make DEI a slur. No longer brought into the conversation. Now, I don't know how that's going to be possible, because these are terms these corporations and the institutions they support came up with all on their own, so you're gonna have to go and tell them, hey, you're not allowed to say that anymore. A woke person turning against a term that they created themselves. Imagine my shock. Where have we seen that before? I mean, you don't have to take my word for it. You can go look up this congressman's video clips out there and take a look for yourself. Notice how it only became offensive to him when someone other than a CEO spokesperson started using it to describe these hires. All people on the internet are doing is going according to your terms. Diversity, equity, and inclusion is the focus of these mega wealthy corporations like Microsoft, who have an entire 2023 write-up on all of their DEI efforts, where, by the way, they admit to paying white people less. I mean, Mr. Maxwell here is a symptom of that system. Are we really supposed to believe a former Uber driver who can barely manage his credit or finances is capable of governing anything? No, of course not. A quota had to be met. Didn't earn it is the more appropriate way of describing this entire thing. And that is why they want to label it as racist. Well, what they really mean is they don't like it when certain people use the term. If Microsoft says, hello, DEI hires, they say, hello, master. If you say, oh, look, DEI hires, they try to cancel you. Even though that is objectively what they are. Minorities in companies like Microsoft are not only paid more, but they're also offered programs that benefit them based on their ethnicity, on their race, on their gender. You don't believe me? You can see it here for yourself. This is a dream come true system for them, and now they want to say, oh, that's offensive to bring up. They want to blacklist the term, because while they see inclusion, we see incompetence. DEI is now a racial slur. What have we learned? A word is less important than the intention behind it. As a result, white people will always find a new way to call us DEIs. Do they even know what they're talking about anymore? DEI is what you guys advocated for. More inclusion, equity, and diversity in the workplace. And backed by companies like BlackRock. There is direct funding to make this happen. This is not a new slur. This is what you're referred to by the corporations, by journalists, by publications, and the vast majority of consumers. How in the world is it possible to turn on the very thing you boasted about, you bragged, you fought tooth and nail for? Now, you want to brand DEI as a racial slur. All because people pointed out when video games suck, or when companies like Sweet Baby enforce it and are hired intentionally to push it. You guys didn't shy away from it, you didn't hide, you were open about it, and now you're upset when people are like, oh look, DEI hires. It's just proof you can't please this crowd no matter what you do. It's proof that pandering is pointless. There is no end. There will always be demands for something stupid. Do you remember that collaboration between Dove and Epic Games where they tried pushing a fat minority female and everybody just sat back in disbelief? Why would you encourage this unhealthy body type? Why would you normalize it? What is the purpose to making women so ugly? Why is this push necessary? It's because of DEI. That's why. They know that they're at fault for things being so unappealing, so disastrous. They know the blame is on them, but they want to deflect. It's like, hey, you were hired for the purposes of DEI. Oh, racist, ha! No, that's legitimately your job description right here. Please, white man, hire us based on our ethnicity and sexual orientation. But don't ever tell people you did that. Oh, and while you're at it, please, no white people in our teams. Too many microaggressions. They want the honors of being DEI hires, but they don't want the label of being a DEI hire. That's not how it fucking works. Because you know, when a white man fucks up, when a white employee does something they shouldn't have, it's let's all blame the white guy time. No problems. But when something under a DEI hire goes to shit, we can't call it out. We can't say anything. Well, as a Hispanic myself, I would absolutely hate a world where that's the case. So no, I'm not gonna go by these rules. You know, it's so easy for them to openly talk about how white people are a problem in the workplace and how they don't want to work around them and how they want to pay them less and how easy it is to put all the blame on the white man. But when they fuck up, they don't want you to mention a single thing unless you're putting the blame on white men for the mistake they made. Don't be surprised when this sentiment is then repeated in the gaming community. Don't be surprised when all those sweet baby employees start trying to use the same logic here. Oh, when gamers say DEI, they mean the N-word. That's not fair. I'm only 9% DEI. It's crazy how they consider obese people a part of DEI now. That's why they put them in games. That's why they try to normalize this body image. I guess anybody who's just doing fine in life is a problem in general. And it's part of the reason they want to normalize this idea that anybody other than them who references DEI is doing it with ill intent. When in reality, we're only doing it because we're annoyed. We're like, oh great, more DEI bullshit. I can't wait to hit download on that brand new game where I'm lectured about how bad white people are. That's, oh man. Yes, keep telling us about how women need to be in places of power. I purchased this video game for a college campus lecture. Yes, just expect it. This is their new go-to. And honestly, it's gonna backfire on them because the potential for memes here is just insane. When it comes to the internet, no moral ground is higher than the ground memes stand on. But let them. Go ahead. Just keep turning everything you guys do into one giant meme. Please, it makes my job easier. I don't even have to be funny. The jokes write themselves. But if you thought it was worth your time, then why don't you help me get to 80,000 subs, eh? Subscribe. Do that thing you guys do with other YouTubers, and I'll see you in the next one.
Fritango sucks ass.